Hey hooligans, and welcome back for another wonderful Wit and Wisdom lesson. So we are doing Wit and Wisdom Module 0, same as yesterday. We are doing Lesson 2 today, but Lesson 2 is so long that it's actually going to get broken up into 2 days. So we're going to do Module 0, Lesson 2, Part 1 today. So go ahead and go to the Google Classroom and open the Google Doc that's attached to the assignment for the day. Once it's open, go ahead and click back onto this video and come watch the lesson. I'll give you a second to go do that. Okay, hopefully you have opened it and you are back. So we are going to review over our essential question, our focusing question, and our content framing question for the day. So if you're still struggling to get it open, this will give you a little bit of extra time because we're just reviewing over the things that the essential question, remember, changes with each module. The focusing question changes with each book, and the content framing changes each day. So the essential question is the same as yesterday. It's how does reading help us build knowledge? Our focusing question, the correct one, because I know that I said it incorrectly at first yesterday, the correct focusing question for this book is, why were the ducks so important to Eugene and Mr. Lincoln's Way? So that's the focusing question. And then our content framing question for today is, why is it important to make sure that you understand unfamiliar words in a story? So I'll repeat that. Why is it important to make sure you understand unfamiliar words in a story? So unfamiliar means like words you don't know. So why is it important to understand all of the words in the book and to look up the words that you might not know? So first thing we're going to do is discuss question 1 from the Google Doc. I'm going to go over the notes that you'll need to be filling in to answer those questions. All of that will be on the screen, so you don't have to worry about having to spell anything. I will put it on the screen. So the question number 1 in your notes says, why is it important to learn new words? And you'll see a 1, 2, and 3 underneath it. So go ahead and click next to number 1, and we are going to be going over the 3 reasons why it is important to learn new words. And they will be on the screen for a long time. I'll put it on the screen so you can click back and forth and type it into your Google Doc. So the first reason why learning new words is so important is that learning new words can help you understand more of what you read. The second reason, don't stress out, after I get done reading them, it's going to be on the screen, spelled out, clear as day for you so that you can copy it, and it'll be there for a while. So I'm just going to read them all through, and then you can copy them once they're on the screen. Number 2 says new words can make your writing more interesting. Number 3, you will have more ways to say things that you want to say when you're speaking or writing. So those are the 3 reasons why it's important to learn new words. I'm going to put them on the screen and you can copy them from there. It'll be on the screen I'll put it on there for about 8 minutes. So it's going to be on there for a good long while. So make sure that you copy it correctly, word for word. There's no reason why you should have any spelling errors because it's all typed out on the screen for you. All you have to do is copy it. So you can just let the video roll and be sure that your Google Doc matches the answers that are on the screen. Okay, now that we're done with question number 1, go ahead and click back onto this video. And we are actually going to read a passage from page 4 of the book. And while I'm reading the passage, I want you to notice if there are any words in this passage that are unfamiliar to you or that are new to you. So I'm going to read a passage from page 4. Okay, the passage says, "Then one day, as Mr. Lincoln was helping the 5th grade plant a tree in the beautiful new atrium, he noticed that Eugene was looking up into the branches of one of the trees. There sat a bright red cardinal. 2 other days, Mr. Lincoln had seen Eugene standing at the atrium window watching birds on the trees." So, are there any words there that might be unfamiliar to you or that you possibly hadn't really read in another book? A word that I noticed that might be new for you guys is the word atrium. And that is a word that comes up a lot in this book is the word atrium. So if you see in your Google Doc, you'll see a funny looking little text box. And in the middle of that text box, is the word atrium. So we're going to fill in the rest of the boxes that are around that word together. So that is going to be what we're going to be doing today. So in the middle, you'll always see the vocabulary words. That little text box thing is going to be how we're going to be doing vocabulary words for most of this year. And the vocab word will always be in the middle. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see the word definition. So we are in the Google Doc, just a reminder. Be sure that you have clicked in the Google Doc and that you can see what I'm talking about. We are in the middle of the page where there's the funny little square with the word atrium in the middle. So in the top left-hand corner, you'll see the word definition. Definitions explain the meanings of words, so you can look up definitions in the dictionary. So the definition, and I will put it on the screen, the definition of an atrium, it says it's an open, skylit area in some buildings that often contain plants and has a glass ceiling. So that is the definition for atrium. I will put that on the screen as soon as I get done with reading through what's going to be in each of the boxes. So don't stress. I will put the definition and all of the other things that you need to put in the boxes on the screen as soon as I'm done going over them. So for now, just sit back and listen, and then you can copy it into the text box here in just a little bit. So synonyms. So synonyms might be a word that you're familiar with. It might not be. So synonyms mean words that have the same meaning. So if I said pretty, then beautiful would be a synonym. But if I said pretty and I wanted the opposite, that would be an antonym. So pretty and ugly, those are antonyms. But pretty and beautiful, those are synonyms. So we are looking for synonyms. Synonyms mean the same. So a synonym for atrium is plaza, quad, and enclosure. Again, those will be on the screen as soon as we get done. Plaza, quad, and enclosure. So those are words that kind of mean the same thing. The part of speech. So it's important to know what part of speech it is so that you know how to correctly use it in a sentence. So atrium is a noun. So it's a person, place, or thing. It is a thing. So an atrium is a noun. That's what part of speech it is. And then it says examples in the bottom corner of the text box. So an example of an atrium that you might be familiar with is Park Plaza Mall in Little Rock. It's a kind of like a large atrium because there are a couple plants in the middle, but it also has a glass ceiling and it's open in the center. So if you've ever been to Park Plaza Mall in Little Rock, that's kind of like a good example of an atrium. So now that we've kind of gone over this and I've walked you through what each of one of those mean, what definition means, what a synonym is, which part of speech it is, and some examples, I'm going to put all that information on the screen here. I'll leave it up for about 8 minutes again, and I need you to make sure that your text box with the word atrium in the middle, that you fill out all of the different parts. There's 4 different parts you need to fill out. So I'm going to give you about 8 minutes to make sure that your text boxes are all filled out. All the information will be here on the screen, so make sure that you are matching or you are writing the definition correctly, all of the synonyms, the part of speech, and the examples. So again, I'll give you about 8 minutes with all that information here on the screen, and be sure that you are filling out all of the different parts of that vocabulary text box. Okay, we are now at the end of the lesson, so that wasn't too bad. So I want you to now go back and check your work. Make sure that you have answered, that you have put all 3 reasons why it's important to learn new words, and that you have filled out all 4 parts in your vocabulary text box. So we will discuss later on the answer to our content framing question for the day. So just a reminder to keep this in your brain and be thinking about the answer to this so that when I ask later, you will have the answer. Our content framing question is, why is it so important to make sure that you understand unfamiliar words in a story? So that is our content framing question that we will be discussing the answer to later. In the meantime, make sure that you're getting all your work done, and I will see you soon. Go ahead and head over and be sure you start on science. Peace out, 4th grade.